It's Lyndall Parker-Newlyn here. I'm Medical Director for IMG SOS. It's not long now till the AKT KFP on the weekend, so we're in the last couple of days. So I wanted to just touch base again, give you a few more last-minute tips and, you know, a bit of a cheer squad with the pom-poms here going, yay, we're thinking of you. A few things to consider in these last-minute tips. In the next couple of days, if you haven't stopped studying yet, I think it's time to stop. You're not going to be cramming more information in your head right now. One of the traps of reading more and more and more in this last 48 hours is rather than focusing on what you know, you're focusing on what you don't know. If you start looking for gaps and trying to fill them now, you're just going to increase your stress. So the first thing I'd be saying is, if possible, do nothing. Put the books away. You're done. You're ready. If you feel that you can't put the books away, then what you can do is think about just focusing on what you do know. Pick up some guidelines, skim through your books, look at some old questions, and think about how you're going to approach the paper. But I wouldn't be trying to fill in gaps. You don't have to know everything. Oh, I just got a hello from Vishal online. Hello, Vishal. Thanks for watching. So I think that's the first thing, is that you don't have to know everything. Nobody can know everything. So right now, let's focus on what you need to do. Sleep is really important. Part of the reason that sleep's so important is this exam requires you to be able to think. You need to be switched on and ready to attack the exam on the weekend. And that's not going to happen if you're exhausted. So get some sleep. Let's talk about what you're going to do on the day. Obviously, there's the clear things. Make sure you leave enough time to get there. Make sure you have enough sleep, all of those things. Make sure you have a good breakfast, okay? So have something that's going to see you through, some low GI carbohydrates, have porridge, have muesli, whatever floats your boat. But just make sure that you do have something to eat, because it's a long day, particularly if you're doing both exams. And similarly, from a caffeine point of view, have what you would normally have. If you're a coffee person, have a coffee, but don't suddenly have 6 if you've never had them before. Let's talk about the paper. Now, I know we've talked a lot about how to approach the KFP, but just some reminders on the day about what you need to be doing. For the AKT, the importance here is keeping moving. It's a lot of questions in a short period of time, so timing is vital. Don't get stuck overthinking a question. With the AKT, if you don't know what it is, mark it, move on, and come back to it later. If you spend 5, 10, 15 minutes stressing over a question that's hard, remember, it has the same amount of marks as the easy questions at the end that you could miss out on. So timing is at the essence with the AKT. Just keep your momentum rolling. When it comes to KFP, there's a few other things to think about. Firstly, momentum is still really, really important. So with the KFP, keep your timing. So be aware how much time you've got. And while you don't need to be rigid, because some questions will take you longer than others, what you do need to be doing is making sure that you keep moving. Again, don't get stuck. My suggestion with KFP is that start work on a question, write down what you think of straight away, think about it, get it down. Don't agonize over the wording, and don't agonize over the last option. If there's 6 points and you write 5, don't then spend 10 minutes thinking about the 6th one. There's no point in doing that. Leave it blank, mark it, move on. And I'll talk about what to do after that. So keep the momentum rolling. Don't agonize. Keep moving forward. You should have enough time. The timing usually is not a problem, providing you don't get stuck. The second thing that's really, really important is imagine the patient. Imagine the patient sitting in front of you. When somebody walks into your office with something tricky, you don't sort of throw your hands in the air and go, oh, I don't know what to do. You come up with a strategy. So if you're getting stuck, think, what would I do if this patient walked into my room? The other reason imagining the patient in front of you is so important is that there is a whole lot of tricks to writing these questions. Every little bit of information is important. So the age of the patient, the gender of the patient, their ethnicity, their background, their occupation. If the college has told you any of those things in STEM, chances are they've told you for a reason. Why have they told me this patient is postmenopausal? Why have they told me that this girl that's pregnant is 14? Why? Think about why they've put that into the question. If the girl who's pregnant is 14, then this isn't just a simple pregnancy question. The age of her partner becomes important. Her ability to consent becomes important. If they've told you this is a woman who's postmenopausal with vaginal bleeding, that's very different to if she was 35 with vaginal bleeding. Don't miss those little facts. They're really, really important. I did say about filling gaps, what to do. So as I mentioned earlier, as you're going through the paper, if you end up stuck, mark it, move on, leave it blank, whatever. What do you do with the time at the end? There's a couple of things I think you should do. Go back and fill in gaps. As I said, if you keep moving forward, you should have some time. Agonising over one option out of 6 doesn't gain you marks and just wastes time. So keep moving forward. At the end, come back and fill gaps. What I wouldn't do, though, is come back and change everything. The number of people I've seen that when we're practicing questions as part of a course, they come back and change all their answers because they're doubting themselves. They come back and go, oh, that can't possibly write, I'll change it. And they will write the first time. So polish your wording if it's clumsy, fill in any blank spaces, but in most cases, you shouldn't go back and change your diagnosis. You were probably right the first time, okay? So they're my probably hot tips for the day. Keep an eye on your time, keep moving with momentum, imagine the patient sitting in front of you, ask yourself why they've told you this piece of information, keep it relevant and practical, but remember that the hard questions and the easy questions have the same amount of marks. Don't waste time on hard ones. If you don't know, keep moving forward. Finally, your instinct was probably right. Don't doubt yourself and go back and change things. From a general perspective, it's important to go into this as positive as you can be. And I know it's really hard. It's a scary exam. And for some of you, you've done it a number of times. But don't make this a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've said to my friends that are saying, I think I'm going to fail it, you can feel like that on Sunday when it's done if you want to. But in the next 48 hours, the important thing is feeling positive, going into it as positive, going, you've done everything you can do. We'll be here cheering you on in spirit. And so, you know, try and get some sleep, try not to work too hard in the next 2 days. And from all of us at IMG SOS, from myself, from Sam, from Phil, and from the whole tutoring team, we're thinking of you all, not only the people that we've worked with closely, our students, but everybody who's sitting the exam, all 1,500 of you or whatever that are sitting the exam on the weekend. We'll be around, so if you have any questions, feel free to comment under this video or any points or tips. Otherwise, hang in there, guys. We'll be thinking of you on the weekend. Hope this has been helpful. Take care. Love to you all.